Hello, everyone. This is Melissa from stampwithmelissa.com. Welcome to my weekly Tuesday night live video. If you're catching this beginning part, you're probably on the replay. So, hey, shout out to you. Leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm just going to talk for a little bit till people find me live. There's always a little bit of a lag, you know? Okay, somebody found me. As you join, please say hello in the comments. Hey, Lori, welcome. This live video is streaming both to Facebook and YouTube, so you can watch on whichever platform you prefer. I know, Lori. She sent a bunch of snowflake emojis. It's ridiculous. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Mom. Hey, Alicia. Welcome, everyone. It's been 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy? It's like, I don't know. It just flies by. I feel like I did a live class like 2 days ago, but it's been 2 weeks. So today is February 21st. I think that's right. Yes, it is. It is 5 p.m. Central Time. That's my local time. And we are going to do a really fun class today. I have some things to show you before we get started, but otherwise, I think we're just pretty much going to do it. We're going to do this week's class. I'll talk about this week's class a little bit later on how you can get the class kits for today and all of that too. Okay, but let me start. I'm going to flip my camera down. We're just going right into it. Hey, Dawn, welcome. So I'm going to flip my camera down here. There we go. Oh, I did want to add too. So Lori sent a bunch of snowflake emojis. It's snowing here in Minnesota. Can you believe it? Of course it is, right? We're supposed to get like, I think up to 20 inches, maybe even more of snow from now until Thursday. I don't know if there's an end in sight in that like 48-hour period. It's a little bit ridiculous. I love snow, but after Valentine's Day, bye. And so it's snowing. And so you guys know I use two cameras, obviously. The camera that is filming my face has to be on Wi-Fi because it's my old phone. So it's not hooked up to like a phone number anymore, right? It doesn't use cellular. So this camera straight ahead is, I wish we had rain. I really do, Deborah. I love rain. I do. I love it. But the camera that's on my face is using Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi has been a little bit iffy. So I do apologize if my face goes a little spotty, but I did take my desktop view. So this guy here, that you can see my hands, I did take that off of Wi-Fi. So that's going to use cellular. So we're just going to hope we have a good connection on both. But if we don't, we should on one, right? Yeah, it's been super weird. I work from home. And so today all day long, it was just like glitching out on me. And I was like trying to work on something. And then I would be like, I can't open that file because to open our files, right, we have to be like connected in through a remote thing and all that. And so it like wouldn't let me open files and it wouldn't let me do all this stuff because the Wi-Fi would just kick out. So super, very fun. But it hasn't been down long term. Knock on wood. Hopefully I didn't just jinx that. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So let's talk. First of all, I wanted to say, because Deborah reminded me, she talked about rain. I am doing stamp camp. Let me find the page. I don't even know what page the suite is on. Isn't that ridiculous? But it has to do with rain. So I bet you guys all know which set I'm talking about, right? Okay. Page 50. Let's go to page 50. Hold on. Sneak peeks of today, right? Page 50 and 51 has the Rain or Shine suite. And this is the featured suite of my Stamp Camp. Stamp Camp will ship in March. It's all virtual, so you can do it on your own time, get the kit shipped right to you. Yeah, so I have details on that went out in my email newsletter today. They also went out on Saturday. And I'm so sorry, there was a typo. Copy paste, right? I copied my last Stamp Camp format to make sure I got all the details. And I said you needed the decorated pine dies. Yeah, no, you don't, because those are Christmas dies. We don't even have them anymore. So no, you don't need those dies. You just need this bundle if you want to do it as I instruct. Okay, so the Playing in the Rain bundle is what you'll need if you want to do the cards as I instruct. If you'd like to swap out for a different set, you're more than welcome to. Obviously designed with this in mind though. So, but yeah, it's a beautiful set. I love this set so much. It's probably my favorite suite ever of all time. Yeah, I know. LOL, right, Alicia? I had somebody reach out to me and actually a demonstrator friend from Austria, and she was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Ah, dang it." So I had to make that correction today in my newsletter, but you do not need the decorated pine dies, okay? Usually with all of my stuff, I do all of the die cutting, punching, scoring for you. Oh, I forgot to grab my punch. I'll have to grab that. I usually do all of that for you except with the featured bundle. Okay. Deborah, for this one, I will not have a live session just because of spring break and all that. Lori, not favorite set ever, but favorite suite ever. So maybe I said set, but yes, this is my favorite suite of all time. So that we've ever had. Yeah, I love this one so much. And then the dies have a bunch of cute things like a fence and a kite. So lots of fun with that. Okay. Okay. So let's flip then. Let me close this actually. I'll tell you why I forgot to grab my punch too in a second or so, but I wanted to share real quick some Valentine's Day cards that I got because I wasn't here with you on Valentine's Day last week. And I want to share these. I did post a picture, but yeah, I mean, it's my favorite we've ever had. So it might be a big statement, but it's true. I love it. So we all have different styles and tastes, right? But yeah, this is my favorite suite we've ever had. Doesn't mean it'll be my favorite forever, right? But it is definitely my favorite as of now. Okay. Anyway, so this one is from Lori Hall, who's right here on our live today. And look at how fun this is. Actually, Lori, you may have inspired one of the Stamp Camp projects with this fold. Wink, wink, sneak peek. We're not using love cats, but how adorable is that card? So then she just put like a little spot to write on the back there. You know, I don't always like to show the inside of cards because people write me really nice messages and sometimes you just have to keep those things, right? Oh, you don't think you could pick one that's your favorite of all time? Yeah, Deborah, I think, I just say it's my favorite. And then I'm like, yeah, it's just my favorite. But you're very right. I think next week I could change my mind, but I don't think I will. So I think I'm pretty safe in saying it. And it's probably because of this cute turtle right here. Of course, this is from Alicia Markfurt, who is on my team. She's on today's video as well. And of course, Alicia told me that she had to do a turtle just for me. And I don't know if that means that like, nobody else got a turtle on their Valentine's Day card, but that's what I'm choosing to believe. And it's because turtles are my favorite animal. So I think it's pretty easy to have a favorite set when it's got your favorite animal in it, right? And this one is super cute too. So it flips like this and then it flips up again. Not gonna like show you too much of the inside, but the greeting goes inside there. So how cool is that? 2 fun fold Valentine's Day cards, huh? Okay, then let me talk about March Club Create because it's February 21st, which means today we're rolled over officially into the March Club Create subscription period. And I wanted to show you because I put it out in my newsletter today, sneak peeks, and I said it's using the Irresistible Bloom set. And you might be like, what is that? Right? Well, it's this super duper fun bundle. It's a cling mount bundle. Look at these fun dies and some beautiful stamps. And it is actually going to be available next week on March 1st. How cool is that? So a fun new set to look forward to next week coming then. There's a whole sweet collection of, they're calling them online exclusives. So these will not ever appear in a catalog. They have no end date. So if they're super popular, they might bring them back. When they sell out, they might just be gone. You never know. So if you like it, you got to get on it right away. But of course, as a demonstrator, I got to get this at the beginning of February. Beautiful. There's some paper, actually 2 packs of paper, all the good stuff included in club as well. But then there's also this really fun, and I didn't open it, but I'm going to close up here on this and hopefully you can see it well. But there's this fun pack of embossing folders. So it comes with 3 3D embossing folders, and we are going to use one of them on this week's card class. I know, aren't they fun? Yeah, thanks, Deborah. I always love when you guys cheer each other on. So thanks for saying shout out to Lori and Alicia. And yeah, I love the Irresistible Blooms bundle too. So it is just so fun. So, okay, let's talk about today's class. I'm going to change my banner at the bottom there real quick. There it is. So for today's class, we are going to be featuring St. Patrick's Day cards. We're going to make 3 cards. And this week, if you place an order with me, you can get the supplies to make those 3 cards, but you actually get to make 2 of each. So you get to make 6 cards when you place an order with me this week. And make sure you use this host code right here. It's also linked in the description box. If you're watching on Facebook, I believe the description box is above the video. And if you're on YouTube, it's below. So look around the video. You'll find the description box. It has the direct link with that host code tied to it. But a $35 order will get you the 6 card kits, and a $50 order will get you the 6 card kits and a pack of these beautiful gold sequins. Let me show you this one. You can see I've loved them. So there's like teardrops, moons, and then standard sequins. And the standard sequins have been my favorite, if you can't tell. So I had to open a second pack just so I had more. So you will get those because of course we need some gold for St. Patrick's Day, right? But you might be wondering, well, what set would we use for St. Patrick's Day, Melissa? Well, of course, we're going to use Lucky Clover today, okay? So super fun cling mount stamp. Again, that means it's red rubber. You can see I left 2 sad little lonely stamps in here. We're going to use all of the other ones on today's cards. And then I have some fun samples to share with you as well. So this was the card I put up on Monday. I cased, oh shoot, I forgot her name. I think it's Rose Ward is her name. I think that's right. It's on my blog if I'm incorrect, so I do apologize if I credited somebody there. But I cased it from another demonstrator, and I thought it was so cute and tied in that Friendly Gnomes stamp set. And of course, that's on the page right here, right? So this is page 40 and 41 here. And Friendly Gnomes right there. And we just are going to pretend like that's only 4 leaves and it's a clover, not a flower. Okay. Okay. Yeah, me too. Alicia said she loves this gnome. So cute. And if you remember the gnome dies and the gnome stamp set from the mini catalog that we had for the holidays, there was a set of really cool gnome dies in there that actually die cut out. They don't have a picture of it here. But they die cut out like a larger gnome, and those dies have stayed. So that's really cool. The dies have stayed and they work with the stamp set as well. So that's a fun one that I posted yesterday. And then this is the one I posted today using, of course, this Lucky Clover bundle. Now, the punch did go out of stock, I don't know, a few weeks ago now, maybe even a month ago. The punch left us and the punch is gone. But I had to use it because I just had to. You can also see I've got a fun little board for my team back there that uses them. But I just had to use the punch, which I also need to grab because we are going to use it just a little bit on today's cards. But if you don't have the punch, if you did not get it before it sold out, that's totally okay. You can do today's cards without it. Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead and close this up. Let me grab my punch before I forget. There it is waiting for me. Okay, so we've got the punch, we've got the stamp set. Let's start with card number 1, shall we? Hey, Rita, welcome. Yes, better late than never. We're just glad you made it. Oh, awesome. Lori just got her gnomes today. That's so fun. Okay, so we, of course, are going to use lots of green this week, right? Because why wouldn't we? And it's so weird to think of, like, St. Patrick's Day is less than a month away. Isn't that, like, bizarre to think about? No, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking St. Patrick's Day was on the 21st, and today's the 21st. I got confused there. All right, so this card kit, we've got a soft seafoam card base. You'll have a soft seafoam layer. You'll have a piece of the Flowers and More Host DSP. So this DSP is you can get with Stampin' Rewards if you place a $150 order with this current mini catalog. So I'm going to include some of this. If you did get my special last week, you got a sampling of it, which is really fun to play with. It's got some fun patterns, including that green one. You'll also get a oh my gosh, basic white. I couldn't think. A basic white circle. This is die cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. So you can see the little stitching there. You'll have a piece of the textured shimmer paper. Can you see that there? So it's got like some fun little lines down here and it is shiny. I didn't realize that looking at it in the catalog, but it is so shiny and beautiful. And then you'll also have a piece of shaded spruce for your sentiment. Okay. We are going to heat emboss this week. But let's start with our clover and Granny Apple Green ink. Of course, we're going to use lots of different greens. So we've got soft seafoam for our base. We've got shaded spruce for our sentiment background, right? Oh, sorry, that's out of camera. Rookie mistake. And then in the DSP here, it's mainly shaded spruce, but we've got some Granny Apple Green. So that's why I wanted to pull that for our clover here. And we're just going to go ahead and stamp that down onto our basic white circle. Again, if you do have the punch and you have a scrap of white, you want to pop it up, you're absolutely welcome to do that, right? It's your card, make it yours. Okay, so we've got that, and then we're going to heat emboss. So I'm going to start with my embossing buddy. I have a very, I wouldn't say tragic, and I wouldn't say funny, but I have a very interesting story. My desk is right next to the wall, right? So there's about like this big of a crack, and my embossing buddy fell like out of my hand into the crack in between the desk and the wall, right? And I'm trying to reach it out, and I'm trying to reach it out just before we went live here. Okay. And I'm trying to get to it and I can't get it. And I was like, okay, I just have to let it fall to the bottom, and then I'm going to have to just like pull something in there to try to pull it out, right? So I do that and I get it up and whatever, and I'm like, you know, moving things around to play with it, and I see something moving on my desk. It was a spider. There was a spider. Ooh, I know they like those kind of little spaces, but yuck, yuck, yuck. I about peed my pants. So anyway, that was my fun adventure for this afternoon. I had been feeling tired all day, and that definitely woke me up. Okay, so you can see I stamped our sentiment with Versamark ink, and then I went ahead and added some white embossing powder, okay? I am going to, I know, oh no, it was like I lost my mind. I'm going to grab just some tweezers to hold this so I don't like burn my fingers. I know, it was so gross. I should have said, Mr. Spider, don't you know it's St. Patrick's Day and not Halloween? Anyway, I've got my heat tool here. I'm going to go ahead and get this warmed up. It's going to take a second for it to warm up. I don't always like to talk over it because I never know if you can hear me or not. So I'm going to let this warm up, and then we're going to go ahead and heat emboss this, okay? You can probably still hear me, but in case you can't, I'm not saying anything important. All right. I'm just pointing it at the wall in case there's any other spiders bugging me. Any other spiders living in here, right? Oh, you can still hear me. Okay, good. I know, I never think you'll see a spider either. And guess what, Lori? Yesterday my dad killed one. So like this is number 2. Where's number 3? Because you know they always come in 3s. Okay, this is probably fine. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. And I'm doing it from below. You can kind of hopefully see it changing. Beautiful. Okay. Deborah said she could still hear me through that. Hopefully you still could when I brought the heat tool closer to me. But I'm just going to let this sit for a second because it's never happened to me, but I have heard it happening to others where that smudges if you try to like flip it over and add adhesive to it right away. So we're not going to risk it. Okay. All right. So let's grab our soft seafoam layer here and add some seal to the back. And thanks, Lori. Yes, I don't know why I rarely emboss, and this week I did it on 3 of my 5 cards. So we are going to do it on another card here for class today as well. Yeah, it just really makes it beautiful, doesn't it? And it makes it really fun that you can use those dark cardstocks as the background and add that white embossing folder just to really make it pop. It's chef's kiss. All right, so let's take our textured shimmer paper then. It is the same on the front and back, like looks the exact same. So I guess, you know, I flipped it over, but it really does not matter because it's the same. And we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to tack this down. I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of my soft seafoam layer, not from my card base, but the layer. And I'm just going to lay that down. Okay. And then we'll take our basic white circle that we stamped on and add some dimensionals to the back. Whoa, I got that one real close to the edge there. Okay, and then we'll go ahead, peel that, and I'm going to stick it down over here to the side. Okay, and now this should be fine to work with. So I am going to trim it down just a little bit. That is totally personal preference. So if you like, you know, a wider margin on that, you can totally leave that. But I want to trim it down as far as I can, pretty much. And I don't trust myself to cut it with snips because you guys know I do not enjoy fussy cutting. So I cannot be trusted to use scissors to cut straight. Oh, come on. Now that's going to get stuck in there. It got mad at me. Okay, let's go ahead and add this to our card. So I'm going to layer this. So you can see that textured shimmer paper is going to kind of sneak out a little bit like a border, right? And I'm going to flip this over. We're going to add 2 dimensionals to the back, and I'm not going all the way over to the right hand side because that's going to lay over our circle a little bit. So what I'll do over there is just add a little bit of seal. And we'll go ahead and stick this down. And again, you can just kind of play with it, see wherever you like it. Okay. Just like that, looks good to me. Beautiful. And then we'll grab our gold sequins. And we are going to use the traditional sequins on this one. So I'm going to grab one of the big ones and one of these little guys. Just like that, there's card number 1. So even with that heat embossing, it really is a quick, simple, easy card to put together, isn't it? Okay, so there's number 1. Let's go to number 2. Let me grab a quick drink. Okay, here's card number 2. This one is a fun fold, and I actually did this card, I believe, for my latest mystery craft box. I think that's what it was for. But I loved this fold, so I wanted to incorporate it in again because, of course, we need just some fun stuff to go on here, right? Okay, so let's take a look at this card kit. And we have got all of our pieces. By the way, when I pulled that out of the package, I just remembered some of you may not have seen my Instagram story update a couple of weeks ago when I lost the pig. I did find the pig. He's good. He's on the card. He's loving life. All right. So this one, we've got a shaded spruce card base. You'll notice that it's a little bit shorter than normal, right? I will take care of that cutting for you so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. All right. Then we will have a piece of the Dandy Designs Designer Series paper. We will have a basic white layer. Yes, mystery craft box. Okay, thanks, Deborah, for confirming. I thought that's what it was for, but then I was like, uh-oh, was it bingo? No, I don't think so. You'll have another piece here of the Dandy Designs. Thanks, Rita. DSP, that's the Celebration DSP. By the way, Celebration ends next week. We only have a week left, so make sure you get everything you want. The Dandy, the Dainty Flowers DSP is already sold out, okay? All right, you'll have a layer of shaded spruce, a layer of shaded spruce that was embossed with the gingham embossing folder. You'll have a piece of basic white. This is the one where we're going to use the punch. If you don't have the punch, you can fussy cut. If you don't like fussy cutting, I don't blame you. You can just stamp it on this white circle, okay? So lots of options there. And then you'll also get 2 granny apple green circles, die cut, scalloped circles, die cut with the layering circle dies. You'll get 2 basic white circles die cut with the layering circle dies. And then you'll also have a little piece of shaded spruce here that's scored right on the end over here, which I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so let's start first. We need to clean off our Clover stamp because we just used it on the other card in a different color. So, okay, that's clean, squeaky clean, you literally. And let's go ahead and stamp this. Now, I gave myself just a very, little amount of room because I always like to risk it. You know me. But we're going to ink this up in shaded spruce. And then I am going to kind of get my head over this just to make sure I actually can stamp it on the space I have, right? And we'll stamp that down and close this up. And I don't think we do use shaded spruce again later, but we don't use granny apple green. So I'm going to put it away. Hey, Barb, welcome. So good to see you. All right, I am going to go ahead and use the punch to go ahead and punch this out. But again, if you don't have the punch, you can fussy cut it because the punch is sadly like gone. Like they're not bringing it back. And the reason for that, if you ever like a punch bundle, I always say make sure you buy it right away because punch bundles, they just take longer to manufacture. And so if they sell out and they're, I do need granny apple green still. They just take longer to manufacture. And so if they run out and they're not planning to bring it back in a future catalog, sometimes they just won't get more. So, okay, so we are going to stamp these other little clovers onto this basic white piece. Oh, I need to re-ink my granny apple green. And I'm just kind of going willy-nilly with it. You can put them wherever you want. And we're going to grab this little tiny baby one as well. Fill in some gaps here and just kind of sprinkling them around. Okay. All right. So we've got that added. Now I really am done. Yeah, of course, Deborah. Yeah. So that's just kind of what I've noticed because even with the Easter Bunny punch, that one went out also. Yes, they are a hot item because they're so quick and easy to use and you don't need any other machine with them. Right. But yeah, so with the, Easter Bunny punch, and we're going to use the Easter Bunny set in a couple of weeks. But with that punch, I think they are bringing it back because they told us it would be back in May. But if you look, it's only February, so it's taken them 3 months to even get it in stock. So if you like a punch bundle, buy it, or a punch in general, buy it. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to heat emboss our sentiment again. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy. That just kind of helps with the static around our circle there, so that, you know, our powder doesn't stick where we don't want it to stick. Open your Versamark, and we're going to stamp good luck. Okay, got to get my head over this. Sorry about that. And beautiful. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this and set that to the side. And then we'll use our tweezers again just to pick that up. Oh, you know what? I should open this first because I need 2 hands for that. And while I do this, I'm going to get my heat tool running again so that that can warm up, okay? All right, so we're going to pick this guy up. And it's so funny because you can't even see the sentiment, right? Look at that. How beautiful is that? Now, just a word to the wise. So there's a little bit of powder around here. And I am using my finger to get rid of it because wherever there is powder, it will stick, okay? It will heat onto it. Just kind of cleaning it off of my tweezers as well here. Okay, we'll re-grab that. I am going to close this up real quick and set it off to the side. And then I'm going to bring in my heat tool. Okay, and watch this. This one, it looks real cool when it melts. Can you see that? Can you see how pretty it gets? How gorgeous is that? Do you see how beautiful and shiny? I love it. So if you have not tried heat embossing, that was one thing that took me a really long time to get into. I was so nervous I was going to mess something up. So if you have not tried it, please just try it. We are here to help. So if you have questions, just let us know. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to take this big piece of DSP here. We're going to let that, you know, cool a little again. And I'm just going to add some seal. And now on one of these sides, I'm going to get as close to the edge as I can because then I need to take this shaded spruce piece. We're going to bend at the score line. Okay. Isn't it? Yes, Alicia said the font is so perfect with this, with the heat embossing. I agree. I think you just have to have gold, right? You have to have extra gold. So, and Stampin' Up does sell, we have the basics pack, which has like your whites, your blacks, etc. And then we have the metallics, which has like the bronze, the silver, the gold. So, oh, interesting. Okay, so Deborah said she's never seen anybody heat emboss from the bottom. So that's just how I learned. I think it's the same with Stampin' Blends, you know, however you learn is just how you do it. So, but yeah, I do it from the bottom and I love it. And I think it helps me to not like hit the heat tool into the stamp, you know, and into the image. So, all right, so on this side, because I got the seal real close, I'm going to take this and we are just going to adhere that little scored edge. And I'm going kind of in the middle. It's maybe not perfectly in the middle, but I'm going as straight in the middle as I can, okay? And then we'll just add a little bit of extra seal on top of that. And then we're going to add this to our card. So I've got this smaller section over here, okay? Here's the score line. So the smaller section is to the left, the larger section to the right. And we are going to go ahead and just center it into this section here. Okay. Very important you add this piece before you glue your DSP down. Ask me how I know. And then we can go ahead and fold and burnish this here. Okay. And same with this side over here. Okay. So now we've got that. We can take our embossed piece, shaded spruce piece here, add some seal to the back of that. This one is kind of a fun one because I can never tell with this embossing folder which side is the back. Hey, Carol, welcome. So this one's fun. You can kind of just pick and choose, you know, whatever you think. We've got that. I'm going to set it off to the side for a second. We're going to adhere this DSP to our basic white layer and get that just centered here onto our basic white. You know, I love my mattes and my layers. I think it just really enhances your card. Okay, add some seal to the back of that, and then we'll go ahead and stick this down onto this front flap here, right in the center, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we need to add this piece here, right? But we need this card to open, so we can only get the seal like shaded spruce on shaded spruce, okay? That's it. So what I'm going to do is we've got this sitting about here in the center, right? And so I'm just going to set my finger there. We've got a lot of room to work with. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add seal, but I'm going to stop a little bit short of where my finger is just in case, right? But you can just kind of eyeball it. And then when you stick this piece down, just make sure you're covering up that adhesive, okay? And I'm going to center it best as I can. And you can even flip it over and just kind of press down, okay? Just like so. And then we'll go ahead and add on our circles. So I'm going to add some seal to the back of the larger basic white circle and get that layered onto the granny apple green. And then we'll flip that guy over and add some seal to the back of that. And then lay this down. Again, I've got adhesive over here, but it's more centered, so I don't think I'll stick it down. If you're nervous about that, you can flip that panel over before you do anything, or just make sure your circle doesn't go off at all, okay? To make sure the adhesive doesn't stick to the designer series paper, because then it won't open. So, all right, so we've got that added. Let's go ahead then and add some seal to the back of our sentiment. And we'll get this layered onto our smaller granny apple green. Oh, how cute. I love how like little the little scallops are. And then we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of this guy. I'll add 3. I always like 3 or 5 on my circles. I don't know why. This is the tiniest circle. It could probably go with like 1 maybe, but you know, the more dimensionals, the happier the card. All right, so I'm going to stick that down, and then we'll go ahead and take our clover and add some dimensionals to the back of this. And of course, each leaf needs one, right? There's no shame in how many dimensionals you use. And then we're going to go ahead and add this. And we're just going to kind of play around to make sure it doesn't hit our sentiment too much, right? And I'm going to stick it like this. Now you see on my sample card, just the stem went in. You just play around with it, see where you like that to go, okay? Or you could place the clover first if you want. Oh, thanks, Alicia. All right, so we've got that, and then we're going to use the little crescent moon gold sequins. I'm going to use them from the sheet I've already started on. The goal is to finish this sheet off. We'll see if I can do it. All right, and we're just going to kind of place them around. So we've got 3 of them here. Oh, that one didn't come. I was like, where did it go? They're so little. They're like little fingernails almost. They're just tiny. Okay, and then I'll put one right there. And there is card number 2. How fun is that one? So then you would just cut another piece here that's the same size as the shaded spruce, and that could go right on the inside for your greeting. Oh, thanks, Mom. Thanks, everyone. You're so kind. All right, that's card number 2. Sorry for the accent there. It just started, so I had to go with it. Let's go on to our final card, and this is the one where I told you we're going to use a product that you can't even get your hands on yet unless you're a demonstrator. Okay, so we're going to use this super fun embossing folder that's coming out on March 1st, okay? All right, and I do emboss your piece for you, so yes, you will get to see it and hold it and feel it, hopefully before you can buy it. Oh, thanks, Deborah. And thanks for doing the mystery craft box too. I love doing those, so I'm glad you do too. Okay, so this final card is quick, easy, simple, and I love it so much. So we're going to have a thick basic white card base. You'll have a basic white layer that is embossed with that new folder. So pretty, right? Oh, there you go. Now you can get a good look at it. It's very subtle, but there's a lot of texture, which is kind of cool. Hey, Marva, thanks so much. Yes, isn't it a cool, Deborah, isn't it cool? Oh, I just love it. I love it a lot. It's very subtle, but yet, yeah, it just has a lot of texture and pattern. So I don't know how it does that, but it does. All right, then you'll have a granny apple green layer. Yes, Alicia knows. She said these new embossing folders are awesome. And that's just one of them. It comes in a pack of 3 different ones. So you'll also have a piece of the Dandy Designs designer series paper. Again, that's from Celebration. You'll have a piece of the brushed metallic cardstock, a strip of basic white for your sentiment, and then because that punch is sadly already sold out, I am including the punched clover for you as well out of shaded spruce. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with stamping, and we are going to use the Happy St. Patrick's Day sentiment because we haven't even used it yet. And so let's go ahead. We're going to do that in shaded spruce ink, and I'm going to have to get my head right over this strip. So I do apologize, but you know, got to make sure it stays on the strip, right? All right, so we've got that added. I'm going to close this up, and then let's go ahead and start assembling. So we are going to add some seal to the back of our embossed piece. And there we go. And then we'll go ahead and add this to our card front. Okay. Fold and burnish this, and I like to burnish on the back side since we've got that texture on the front. I feel like I'll squash it if I burnish on the front. I don't know. I probably won't, but okay, so let's go ahead, add some seal to the back of the DSP. Whoops. Get it stuck to your fingers, and then layer that onto our Granny Apple Green square. And then we're going to add dimensionals to the back of this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one in the middle, of course. We don't want any saggy middles. So peel off those, and this is a square, so, you know, you can put it this way or this way, your choice. And I'm just going to place this over to the right. So I kind of have the same margin on top, bottom, and right-hand side, okay? All right, so we've got that added. Then we're going to go ahead and let's add some seal to the back of our basic white strip. And we're going to layer this onto the brushed metallic, and I'm butting it up all the way to the end. If you like a little bit of a margin there, you can absolutely do that as well. But I'm doing it like this because then I know, right, I'm going to have this here. So we actually can go ahead and we're going to add dimensionals, okay? And I know that this side is the side that's going to get covered by my clover, and it's also going to hang off the edge here. So what I'm going to try to do is keep my dimensionals more towards the right, okay? Peel off these backings, and then we'll flip this over and add this to our card here. Okay, so let's see if I did it. Yeah, I did it. Look at that. My dimensional didn't even go off. Okay, so now with this guy, we know we're going to cover, and this is just where you have to kind of see. I don't want to see my sentiment sticking out on the other end, right? So you can just kind of play with it. You can totally just chop it off there if you want, but I'm just going to cut off a little bit. Okay, just with scissors because it doesn't need to be straight. And then you can see right there, it's not going to peek out past my clover, okay? So this leaf here, or right, they're clover leaves. This one I do not want a dimensional on, but the other three I do. So I'm going to keep my finger on that so I remember which one I don't want a backing on. Okay, then we can peel off these backings. Add some seal to our last little leaf here. And then we'll go ahead and add that to our card. Oh, dang it. Hold on. Hold on. I take that back. We have to double dimensional. Because this is up and this is up. So we need to double, wait. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. All right, we need to double dimensional because we want it to be flat with our sentiment, which is on dimensionals, and this is on dimensionals. So we're double dimensionaling, and we're going to stack these, okay? Okay, there we go. I put it on, and it was a little bit like, you know, lopsided, and I was like, oh, hold on a second. Okay, now we can add this. Okay, beautiful, just like that. And we will finish off with some gorgeous, the raindrop gold sequins here. So we're gonna grab one. That does not want to come with my little putty because I'm running out of putty on this. Take your pick tool. There we go. And we're just gonna kind of place them around. And we'll put one like that, and then I'll grab one more here and stick that up here like that. And there's card number 3. Look how quick and simple that one was too. Thanks, Alicia. That one was super quick and simple too, which is super fun and beautiful. I love these St. Patrick's Day cards. I am proudly Irish. So yeah, this spoke to my heart. I love this set so much. So here's the 3 cards we made this week. I hope you love them all. As a reminder, you can get the card kits for tonight's, or rather this week's class to go featuring the Lucky Clover stamp set. Thanks, Mom. She added some clovers in. You can get them by placing an order in my online store through this Friday, February 24th. And make sure you use the host code that's on your screen right here, 6TASYC2S. And then also that link is right in the description box, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. You can click straight through. Oh, you're Irish too, Deborah. That's awesome. Scottish and English too. I don't think I'm Scottish, but I did one of those ancestry tests and I found out I have some English in me, which is very interesting because I don't know where that comes from. So, yeah, although I am German and Germany is a melting pot. So that's probably where it comes from. Faust is German. My last name is German. So, okay. So yeah, thanks everyone so much for watching. As a reminder then, so $35 gets you these card kits. $50 will also get you a pack of the gold sequins, a full pack from me. And you'll get to pick out a celebration item from Stampin' Up. Celebration does end next week. Next Tuesday is the very last day of celebration. We only have one celebration this year, so make sure you take advantage of it while you can. The Dainty Flowers DSP is already sold out. So just a reminder that if you like it, make sure you get it now before it's gone at the end of the week, okay? Was there anything else? Oh, one last thing. Oh, very cool, Deborah. All right. Fraunfelter, her last name is also German, so that's fun. One last thing is that this is actually the first week of 3 that's going to kick off a spring holidays series. So this week we're focusing on St. Patrick's Day with this cute stamp set. Next week we're doing Easter with, I always forget the name of it. Hold on. Oh, what is it called? Rejoice in Him. I always think like He Rise or something. And I was like, that just never sounds right. Rejoice in Him is the set we'll use next week for Easter. And then the week after is the Easter Bunny stamp set. So make sure you come back, join me for all 3 weeks. You can get card kits all 3 weeks, okay? All right, I think that's all for tonight. Please reach out if you have any questions. Oh, awesome. I am so glad, Deborah. Deborah loves the season or the theme. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next week and see you later. Bye for now.